Hey guys, Z from Build a Business You Love. And today I have a good one. And this one isn't specifically for event spaces, but pertains to an event space. This is for anyone who's looking for a commercial space for your business. Okay. And what I'm finding is that, especially in the event space world, people who are looking for spaces, people who are trying to get their business set up and trying to find a location for their business, I'm finding that people are not working within their capacity, right? I'm finding that people are, um, there's no balance in it, right? And I think it's important to have that conversation to try to figure out where you are, where you need to be, and how to get to that point realistically, right? I'm seeing people going after commercial spaces that it is it doesn't make any sense. The numbers are too high, or the place is too large, or it requires way too much work, or they're just super picky, right? So it's both ends of that spectrum. So I just wanted to quickly do a video about that and finding balance in your search, right? This video doesn't have any fancy visuals or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of just briefly do a really quick video and talk a little bit about that, because like I said, I'm seeing a lot of stuff out there that you have one end of the spectrum where people are super picky, right? It may have pink paint, and they're like, no, I don't want it because it has pink paint. And it's like, girl, you could change the paint. It could have an ugly ceiling, you can change the ceiling, right? But it's about what's in your capacity. So all those cosmetic things, like those superficial things, things that you can change, floors, you're probably going to have to change the floors anyway. That's probably a given, unless someone that was there before had really nice floors, right? You're probably going to have to change the floors. Um ceilings Someone's calling me. Ceilings, you're probably going to have to add something to the ceiling if you have a drop ceiling. If the ceiling is discolored, you're probably going to have to do things like that, right? Now, when it comes to more expensive fixes, such as like plumbing or HVAC systems or electrical, things where you have to get professionals involved, because you probably already had to pay for an architect, right, for them to come out and to figure out how to change the use purpose, especially if you are in an event space business, right? But if you have just a regular commercial space and you have a regular business, then that retail office use may be good for what you're doing. But for my event space people, usually you will have to change that use to assembly, right? And in doing so, you'll have to get an architect usually to come out and to create those plans and to give them to the powers that be. I call the county the powers that be, and have them do what they do, right? But for a lot of us, making those expensive changes is not within our capacity. It may not be in a budget, it may not be in what you can do mentally. Some people, I don't know if you've ever owned a home before, but they can't take that renovation process, right? It drives them crazy. Like, as far as the planning and dealing with the contractors and getting the budgeting together. There's a lot that goes into that. So you have to see what you can do and have your expectations set there, because sometimes people set their expectations too high and they're like, oh, I wanted to have this, I wanted to be ready, I wanted to be beautiful. You're going to pay for that beautiful, you're going to pay for that ready. Okay, so I want you to have and set your expectations to where you are, where your capabilities are, and find that balance in your search, because if you don't do that, you're going to get frustrated really quickly. You're going to start looking for places and settling for places that don't make no sense. I'm seeing somebody now that they're saying, oh, well, I'm looking at a place and everything is going to be $20,000 a month. And I'm like, well, is that within the budget that you planned out? right? When you did your pricing, the numbers that you put into your business plan, the number that you put in to figuring out what makes sense for you to make a profit, because it is a business, right? You have to make a profit, right? You're not even in it to break even. You may break even or have to break even in the beginning because that's what business is, but eventually you're going to need to make a profit to stay afloat, to keep the doors open. So, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense, right? The numbers have to make sense. So if you're looking at a space that's too high, a space that needs too many renovations or too many things done, or even if you don't have the capacity to handle it, that mental space to handle it, then that's something that you need to evaluate within your search before you start searching, right? If it is that you're too picky, if you're looking at things and these little superficial things, there's a scratch on the wall, oh, I don't want it. You need to start to reevaluate, what your expectations are in a space, try to figure out, you know, what type of space you want, what you're looking for in the space, and try to figure out, where you are and have those expectations met that way, and have figure out if you're capable of doing it, right? I think that sometimes we set our expectations up here, and then, when they're not met, we get highly frustrated and sometimes we give up. So it's important to understand where you are. So have that conversation with yourself first. Figure out the planning, figure out the costs involved, figure out, what you're looking for in a space. Does it need to have X, Y, and Z? Does it, need to have the HVAC already in? If you're in Florida, right, and it doesn't have an HVAC, know that you're going to need to put an HVAC system in there. Does it make sense for you financially to do that? So you have to ask yourself these important questions, and if this makes sense within the whole realm of, the scope of your business and the scope of you. I think people forget about including yourself and what you can handle, like your mental space, right? What you can handle. Forget about the money, forget about dealing with all the other stuff. I'm talking about the frustration that can lead, the all the things that can lead to frustration. I'm talking about those things, and it can drive you crazy, and it could really change your path on where you're going with your business. I've seen people just give up in the middle and waste all that money because it's too much, it's beyond what they can handle, right? So make sure you do your research. Make sure you understand what you're looking for in a rental space and in a commercial space. Um, Try to figure out what that looks like for you. Okay. And stop wasting your time. If it doesn't meet those expectations, right? Stop wasting your time, frustrating yourself, wasting your gas, going out to see these spaces, these commercial properties, and it doesn't make any sense. It's something that you cannot do. You're kind of pushing those limits. And that's why a lot of businesses fail, because you know that it's not going to make a profit based on, maybe the rent amount, based on what you are able to charge for your services. It has to all make sense, guys. If it doesn't make sense, you've rocked that balance off you've rocked it off balance. And what happens there is you're not going to be able to have a successful business, or it will be a tremendous struggle, and you're going to say, hey, business is not for me, this is not something I could do, right? So make sure that you are in the right headspace here, and whatever you do is within that realm of that headspace, right? You can meet that capacity of what you can do, of what Kyle could do, of what um, Lisa could do, whatever your name is. Ask yourself, be very candid with yourself and be real with yourself, and ask yourself, what is it that I need to make sure that I'm fulfilled? Okay, you have to find that balance. Um, yeah, it's really important. Anyway, I have an event space course, guys, if you're interested. And I'm creating a bunch of other courses. If you go to buildthebusinessthelletteryouLove.com, they're coming in slowly. I'm building my next course on finding your perfect business and trying to figure out what that is. But right now, I do have an event space course, and it goes over things like this. It goes over topics that about how to find the space and all of the key elements that you need to make sure that you're not frustrated, and to because it is a frustrating process, and you will get to the point where you'll say, okay, I need a break, right? But understanding the elements that goes into it so they're expected, right? I know I wish I had someone to go over these concepts with me, go over these topics with me when I was opening up my business, so that it's like, okay, well, this is normal or this is not normal, right? So I wish I had that. And if you're interested in an event space business, and you're looking for an affordable way to learn how to get started, this course is for you. So be sure to check it out. I'm Z from Build the Business You Love. I hope this video helps someone. I get tongue tied. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and comment. Let me know, some of the struggles that you've got to face, when finding your commercial space, whether an event space or any type of business that you've decided to open. Let me know some of the struggles that you ran into and overcame. Okay. I hope to see you guys soon.